I'm your Shirley King Chris. Welcome back to my channel. How are you doing, Royals? What's going on? We're back with the conversation. Hope this video finds everyone doing well. I hope you're in a positive place, a positive space. You're great, you're good, you're feeling good. What's up, what's up, what's up? Royals, if you're not having a great day, if you're not in a great moment, time, second, please leave people alone. Please don't, just because you're not great right now, please don't. Nobody else's day out, Royals. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Let's get into this conversation. Royals, what is this conversation about? What is this conversation about today? Well, I think it's time for me to share my insight on the coronavirus. So, my insight on the coronavirus is, could this all been avoided if the Chinese government would have listened to this doctor when he first discovered this? Or was this a way for them to get some people out of their population? Or was this a time that they knew that they can finally defeat America in a war? Let's get into it. So we know since the coronavirus first was reported in Wuhan, China in December, the infectious respiratory disease, which now is known as the COVID-19, spread rapidly throughout China and its neighboring countries. The first confirmed case outside of China occurred in January the 20th in Japan, Thailand, and South Korea. On January the 21st, the first case in the United States was identified in Washington State. On March the 11th, the World Health Organization declared the outbreak a pandemic. A pandemic. Dr. Lee, a 34-year-old doctor, was working in the outbreak center in Wuhan, China, when he noticed 7 cases of the virus. And when he noticed the several cases of the virus, he said that the virus looked like him was the SARS virus that took place in 2003, and it became a global epidemic. So on December the 30th, he messaged his fellow co-workers and told them about what he saw and told them to prepare for an outbreak. Told them to make sure that they start wearing protective clothing and protective gear to avoid getting the infection themselves. What the doctor did not know that at this time, what he had discovered was an entirely new version of the coronavirus that would lead to his death in just a matter of months and days. 4 days later, after he messaged his co-workers about this virus, they began to talk about it. It began to spread throughout Wuhan, China. So about 4 days later, the government summons him. The Public Security Bureau summons him. What they did was they arrested him. They brought him in, and they told him that he must stop spreading these lies about this virus. He must stop spreading these lies about the virus. And they told him that if he did not stop spreading the lies about the virus, that he will face jail time. He will face criminal charges for spreading lies, false lies about this virus. So they made him basically sign this thing stating that he takes back everything that he said about the virus, and that he would stop spreading, that he stopped spreading, that he understood that if he didn't, that he was going to most likely face jail time or get charged for it. So on that line, he signed, "Yes, I do." And when he signed, "Yes, I do," it was meaning that he would stop telling people about the coronavirus. But at this time, there were 8 of them all together that was all in this, that was kind of like investigating this, and they all was looking into it. So, so about the end of January, he posted a letter. He posted again on the website, and he posted a letter, and he was telling everybody what happened to him, what the local government, what the authorities did to him. They locked him up and they made him sign that. So he started to tell them about that. But by this time, it was too late. The local authorities tried to come out and they tried to say that that this virus thing, it was only connected to wild animals. So you can only catch it if you came in encounter with some type of wild animal. Remember that thought because we're going to go back to it. Wild animal. So weeks after the police visited the doctor, he treated this lady for glaucoma in his office. So when the lady came into his office, at that time he did not know that the lady had contracted the coronavirus. He did not know that the lady had the virus. So on January the 10th, the doctor started to cough, and he caught fever, and then later on he was rushed to the hospital, and his parents also had felt sick, so they took his parents to the hospital as well. 10 days later, on January the 20th, he posted again, and he posted that he was in the hospital, and he posted that he had took the test several times, and that the test kept coming back negative, that he did not have the virus, right? And so on January the 30th, he posted, today the nucleic acid testing came back positive, which will ultimately lead to his death on February the 7th. He died from the virus. Now, let's go back. So the Chinese government said that you can only contract this virus if you came in contact with a wild animal, right? So also, the Wuhan government ended up closing down their seafood market, which is called the wet market, where they go buy their seafood from. And we all know that Chinese culture are known for eating exotic animals. And so it came out that the coronavirus was associated with the bats, but come to find out that the coronavirus is actually associated with snakes. So there were some researchers, and they analyzed the protein codes from the strain of this new coronavirus, and they compared it to protein codes in different types of animals. And surprisingly, when they did this, it came back that the COVID-19 was similar to what they found in snakes. And as we know that snakes eat bats, so there we have it. So my question is, as we are talking about this and as we think about it, there were 8 of them all together. All 8 of them got arrested, right? So did the Chinese government wanted to keep this a hush when they found out what was going on with this, and when they realized that that this doctor really had something, they wanted to keep him quiet, and they didn't want to discuss it because they knew that this could be an ammunition that they could use to get over to the United States, and that it could kill a lot of people. But also, did they take in consideration that they would lose a lot of lives too? And my thing is, did they infect this guy with the virus? Did the government infect him with the virus? Because if they tested him several times when he was in the hospital, He never came up positive, and then all of a sudden he came up positive, and then a week later he died. So, and then they were mad with him because he also posted to his colleagues and he posted to everybody what the government did to him. So the government was still kind of angry at him because they did not want that to get out, that they arrested him and that they silenced him. Basically, they told him that you got to stop talking about this, because if you don't stop talking about this, we're going to arrest you. And then once it started spreading, once the disease itself, the COVID-19, started to spread throughout the country, it was nothing that they could do to pretty much keep it calm, because at this point it started to circulate everywhere. It started to spread rapidly. So did they kill him? Did they silence the other doctors? What happened to the other 7 people? What happened to them? Could this all been avoided if they would have listened to him, and they would have took precautions, and they would have told the other states, the other countries, what was going on, and that this virus was coming, that they need to protect themselves? I mean, what is it? And we all know that the Chinese government hates United States. They hate the United States government. So is this a way for them to say they finally won a war against us? But in the process of them finally winning a war against us, they didn't know that they were going to kill up a lot of their people in their country. And when this doctor discovered that, if at that time when he discovered it, and when that first case appeared in Wuhan, China, if they did something at that time, could this virus been stopped? That's a good question. It's time to think about this. So the Chinese government, as we know that the Chinese people, they hate us. They don't like us. They don't like Americans. So, and we often eat their food. We go to their nail shops. They get hair from these people. We have to stop doing this. We're making them rich. And what they do is they send their money back to their country. We got to stop. Start making your own Chinese food at home. Start going to other nail shops to get your hair done. Start buying your products, your hair products, from other places besides these Chinese stores. The government don't like us, and their people don't like us. They come over here and get rich, and look where they leave us. Now their country is starting to pretty much get this virus covered. They're starting to find out what's going on with it. They're starting to heal their people. They're having less deaths in their country, but we're on a rise here in the United States. And they won't even share what they did to contain this COVID-19. They won't even share that with the United States. They want the United States to pay them millions and millions and billions of dollars for them to tell us. But at all the time, they knew about this. And when they first knew about it, if they would have told about it, if they would have listened to this doctor and not killed this doctor, because I really do believe that the government killed him. And also, listen to this. So a couple weeks after they arrest him, and he was back in his office, he treated this lady for glaucoma. She came into his office, and he did not know that this lady was infected with the virus. So that could be how that he contract the virus when the lady came into his office, because he didn't know that the lady had it, and he caught it from the lady. Not sure, but it's really suspicious that he was placed in the hospital, and once he was placed in the hospital, they tested him, but the virus never showed. But we also know that there's about a 14-day incubation period before it actually starts to show in your system. So just think about it. Is the Chinese government that evil? Are they that cruel that now they can say that they won a war against America by killing up their people and by letting this virus corrupt other countries and killing up masses of people. Yeah, so what we do know that a fact is that the Chinese government could have stopped this. They could have told us about what was going on. They could have let the other countries in. And so there you have it. Like, so all this could have really been avoided if the Chinese government would have let that doctor tell these people what was going on, and they could have came up with a vaccination or some type of medication to stop this. So Royals, there you have it. Please make certain that you go to the comments and let me know what you think of this video. How do you feel about this video? Do you think the Chinese government is all to blame for this? Tell me what you think. Meet me at the comments. Thank you so much for joining me. Until we meet again, Royals, please remember, stay up, never down. And remember, all of your haters, everybody that's talking shit about you around town, want to put you down, everything you do is wrong, let them be your necessaries. They're your necessaries. Until we meet again, stay up, never down. Mwah.